Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video on the channel. Today we have the FA Cup Round 4 predictions. Different backdrop for this video. Yesterday, so Tuesday the 19th, me and Philip did film the F1 prediction video, so if you're new around here then subscribe for that, and if you're interested in F1, I know anyone that is interested in F1, then that will be dropping within the next probably 8 days. It's been a big project video in terms of graphics and everything, so yeah, it'll take a while to edit it all together, but yeah, we will have the return of the Premier League and European predictions coming as well for the Champions League and Europa League once they do drop in February. But now we have the FA Cup Round 4. Soon it'll be the FA Cup Round 5. Both draws have been made already, but this is of course the 4th round with some tasty fixtures. If I look here, I've got my notes and everything there, and we're in my girlfriend's brother's room because he's got a decent setup. Nice little monitor here, and I've got my light, I've got my non-reflective glasses now so I can use it, and then we've got the window light, so it looks a bit better, a bit of a better backdrop rather than me sitting on a bed. I'm sitting in his chair that has his arse printing it, but yeah, enough about that, let's get into the video. So the first game this week is the first game on the graphic next to me. It is Chorley taking on Wolves, non-league versus Premier League, the National League South side sitting in 9th, taking on an out-of-form Premier League team, Wolves. This is their first meeting since 1986, where Chorley had to beat Wolves in 3 FA Cup games in the same round in 1986. They beat them 3-0 eventually after 2 draws, so 2 replays. I think that's how it worked back then, I'm not entirely too sure, but this is the first meeting between the two sides since then. Both teams in their last game had a bit of a contrast. They both had a 3-2 result, but Wolves lost and Chorley won. And Chorley were 2-1 down at half-time and Wolves were 2-1 up at half-time, so a contrast in results. 75% of Chorley's games this year as well have seen 2 or more goals, so I'm expecting a fair couple of goals in this game. Wolves have the 3rd worst defensive record in the Premier League as well, so I think they will concede, but ultimately I do think Wolves will eventually win. I think they will win in extra time, winning 2-1 and going through. They have enough quality to beat a National League South side. I think, no disrespect to Chorley, who did beat Derby, but you can come up against a Premier League calibre team, and I think Wolves, you have to win. It's embarrassing if you don't. Now, an all Premier League affair, 9th versus 10th. It's Southampton taking on Arsenal. Southampton went through last night, beating Shrewsbury 2-0 eventually, and I think this game is going to be 1-1 going to penalties, and Southampton winning on penalties. There's not really much to separate these two teams at the minute, both in form. Southampton not really in form, but they've done well this season, and Arsenal have gathered some form over the last couple of weeks. Now Bournemouth taking on the team that knocked out Leeds 3-0, Mark Wright's team, Crawley. This could have made the graphic because of what Crawley done last round, but there was just other games that excited me, and Bournemouth not being a Premier League team anymore, I have to favour the Premier League versus League One teams or whatever, so this game I think will be exciting. I think it'll be tough for Bournemouth. Crawley are in form in League 2 at the minute, but ultimately I think Bournemouth have enough quality to beat the League 2 team, winning 2-1. Now an all Championship affair as Barnsley take on Norwich. Barnsley in their last game lost 2-0 against Swansea, and Norwich play tonight, so as this goes out. But I think the Championship leaders will win this game 3-1. Now Brighton taking on Blackpool. This is the first meeting between the two sides in 6 years, when back in the Championship Brighton did lose 1-0 to Blackpool. Brighton this season haven't won at home in the Premier League. I'm not sure if that stands for all competitions, but in the Premier League they're the only team to not pick up a victory at home, which is pretty appalling when you consider Sheffield United. Blackpool away from home average a point per game. They have scored the least amount of goals at away grounds in League One this season, so could be pretty tough. This game I think it will be 1-1 going to penalties, and I favour the League One side to cause another upset, beating another Premier League team on penalties, Blackpool going through. Now another all Championship affair as Swansea take on Nottingham Forest. Swansea, one of the stronger teams in the Championship this year. I think they'll prove that here with a slightly rotated team, but they will go through, winning 2-1. Now Sheffield United versus Plymouth. This is the first meeting between the two sides since round 2 back in 2014 of the FA Cup, where Sheffield United won 3-0. Of course now it's very different. Sheffield United Premier League team playing pretty poor. Plymouth picked up their first away win of the season last night against Sunderland, winning 2-1, a fantastic result for the Greens. But Plymouth have only lost one of their last games since their run of 4 losses at the start of December. They lost to Oxford 3-2 at home, so they're in good form in the minute, and I think that's going to continue. Sheffield United, they're piss poor. Again, I favour Plymouth to upset a bigger team, beating Sheffield United 1-0. Now moving on to West Ham taking on Doncaster. This is the first meeting in 9 years since back in the Championship when these two teams met in 2012. West Ham are unbeaten in their last 6 in all competitions as well, so a decent bit of form for the Hammers. And they have the 3rd best home record this season in the Premier League. Doncaster though have the 3rd best away record in League One, so definitely not a pushover team. They did knock out Blackburn in their last FA Cup game as well, a Blackburn team that were in form. But West Ham have only lost 3 times since their 4-1 loss to Everton in the EFL Cup, winning 9. Doncaster have 8 out of 10 wins in their last 10 games, so they're flying at the minute in League One, and I think that's going to help them go to extra time against West Ham and win 3-2. It'd be a fantastic result for Doncaster, and I think if they can beat West Ham, then a lot of confidence for them going into the next round. Now Cheltenham taking on Manchester City. This is the first meeting between the two sides. Cheltenham's last game was a 1-1 draw against Newport, where Newport, their goalkeeper scored that end-to-end goal. I think that was against Cheltenham last night. Cheltenham only have 2 wins in their last 10 games, so their league position of being 6th in the League 2 doesn't do them any justice. They're piss poor at the minute. But Manchester City, they have maximum points in their last 5 Premier League games, and they have the 2nd best defensive away record in the Premier League, only conceding 6, and I don't see them conceding here against Cheltenham. I think they will win 4-0. Now Chelsea taking on Luton. This is the first meeting between the two sides since 1991, where Luton won 2-0. Chelsea have just 3 wins in their last 10 Premier League games as well, last night losing 2-0 to Leicester. But at home, Chelsea do have the 2nd most goals scored at Stamford Bridge at home ground, so some sort of justice for them being at home in this cup tie. Yeah. Luton away from home have 14 points in 12 away games, their most recent victory coming against Bournemouth in a great victory for them, although Bournemouth had Philip Billings sent off, so maybe a bit of hampering there, but either way it doesn't matter. Luton went and got 3 points. I think this will be a tough game for Chelsea. It's a win they need to get some sort of confidence back to the Premier League, and I think they'll do just so, winning 2-1. Now a boring Premier League affair, a game I actually predicted right when I sent Philip and Ashley the draw that I think would be made. I said that it would be Burnley versus Fulham, but this is Fulham versus Burnley. Fulham have some form behind them, drawing against Spurs, narrowly losing to Chelsea. They probably will lose to Man United tonight, but I think Fulham will win this game 2-0. Now Brentford taking on Premier League leaders Leicester. This game has all the margins to be a fantastic cup game with an upset, with Leicester winning. It's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be full of goals. They met last year in round 4 also, where Leicester did win 1-0, but this is a different Brentford and a different Leicester. They're both still good teams, but they're different. Brentford have only lost 1 in their last 18 games, which was a 3-2 loss away to Stoke. And Leicester haven't lost in 7 since their 2-0 loss at home to Everton. So both teams are in form. They're top of the league. I think this is going to go to extra time. I think it's going to be 3-3 at full time, with Leicester winning 4-3 in extra time. A fantastic game as to be. Definitely one that I'll be watching, and definitely one that you should watch as well. Now moving on to Manchester United versus Liverpool. Their last result came last week in the absolute shit show of a 0-0. One of the worst games of football I've ever watched. Manchester United in the Premier League haven't lost in 15 games. Liverpool have 25 points in their last 15 games, winning 6, drawing 7. So not a very good record for Liverpool. And away from home this season, they only have 2 wins as well. So this game for me favours Manchester United. I think the Red Devils will win 2-0. Now moving on to Everton versus Sheffield Wednesday. The last meeting between these two came in 2019 in the EFL Cup, where Everton won 2-0. Everton have 7 out of 11 wins since their run of 3 losses earlier on in the season, so a pretty good record for them, and they've just beaten Wolves 2-1 in their last game at the Molineux. A good result for them, despite Wolves' bad run of form. Sheffield Wednesday's last game was the FA Cup game win against Exeter, but they only have 2 wins in their 11 away games this season in the Championship. But their best run of the season is right now in the Championship, where they have 10 points in their last 5 games, so definitely will be a fight from them, but ultimately I think Carlo Ancelotti's side will win 3-1. Moving on to the last game, Wycombe versus Tottenham. This is the first meeting since 2017 in round 4 where Wycombe nearly gave me a heart attack. They went 2-0 up and eventually lost 4-3 because of their own goal pretty much, but I was at the game and it was limbs, to be fair. There was the magic of the FA Cup. That's what made me fall in love with the FA Cup a bit more, I think. It was a great game to be at, only £1 as well for me. So, but yeah, this is different Wycombe, different Spurs, definitely a different Spurs and a different Wycombe. Now they're in the Championship, they was in League 2 then I think, and we had Pochettino then, now we have Mourinho. Wycombe at home have the 3rd worst record this year in the Championship as well, and they only have 10 points in their 12 games at home in general, so it's not too good for them. They have 4 points in the last 5 games as well. Compared to Spurs, we have the 4th best away record in the Premier League, which is definitely improvement on recent seasons, with 18 points in their 9 away games. And in the last 5 games, Spurs have 8 points in their last 5. I think this is a chance to show some dominance with a decent team out as well for Spurs, and I think Spurs will win 2-0. So yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Comment your predictions down below. I'm interested to see what you think, especially of the Brentford and Manchester United games. So yeah, comment down below any upsets that you think as well. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like as well, it does help me out, get some more views and subscribers. And I will see you guys later. Goodbye.
Now the feels hit me